Alright, so here we have a Lumik 82cc chainsaw with a 24-inch bar and an Oregon chain from Lumik Group. It was purchased off eBay for $195, and that was received in one day, which I'm pretty happy with. Obviously from Lumik Group with free postage. Anyway, they also sell vehicle parts, accessories, industrial categories, like all sorts of stuff. I think they had 75 different listings. From what I gather, they just they import stuff from different manufacturers or the same one and put their own stickers on it, whether or not. But anyway, so I looked on eBay. This was the cheapest 82cc chainsaw with the 24-inch bar because I wanted something, well, decent, something big. I found some identical looking saws from Teammax on Alibaba.com for $90 US each, but they're a supplier, or a manufacturer, and with a minimum order of 500, it'd roughly end up costing you $40,000. So can't argue with the $200 plus free postage and delivery in one day. And I mean, I'm sure that, well, the 1 year warranty on it, which isn't impressive, but nonetheless, there's somewhere you can take it back to. Also, while I was looking at that, I found that on Alibaba.com, that led through to the Teammax, which also bit of further research. The Yukon and the Baumr-ag Pro all appear to be the exact same saw, with only slight differences, if any, from manufacturer. So as far as the 82cc saws go, they all appear, well, all the Chinese ones appear to be the same saw with different colours and stickers. Anyway, so I'm sure the people who purchase the saws of the suppliers can order their own colours and whatnot. Anyway, so this is going to be a quick unboxing and possibly a review if I get time. So I've already cut the tape on this anyway. Let's see what we get in the box. Alright, as you can see, I wouldn't say it's impressively well packed. It is all in there. Obviously the odd shaped box means it's easy to fit more in a pallet or in a shipping container. So let's see what we get first up. We got a 24-inch bar, I'm guessing this would be, in a Lumik 24-inch bar in a relatively cheap and nasty, very flimsy looking sheath, but yeah, whatever. As I say, it's a very cheap saw. Here's the Lumik bar, the runners and everything, as you can see. I'll unpack that. So this runs an Oregon chain, which is good for further upgrades in the future if this shits out or anything. Alright, what else we got? Oh, there's the chain itself. It's a bit rattled up. There was no packing foam or poly or nothing in this, no wraps, so everything's kind of all over the place there. But here's your Oregon chain, which, believe it or not, oops, it's going to get tangled up, is a chainsaw chain. So I'll put that off to the side. What else we got in there? Oh, nice, we got a little mixing bottle. So fuel mixer. First fill the gasoline on the scale marked gas, then fill the oil until the scale marked 600ml. Shake, then fill into the fuel tank. So that's pretty straightforward. Here we are. So there's your 600ml line. I'm guessing gas would be petrol, obviously. I think it was 93, so 91 to 95 would be fine in it. So if you're going to 40:1 ratio, you just, it's pretty self-explanatory there. There's your gas line, there, and there's your oil. So you just meet the line, and that's actually quite nice. That's quite simple. Be very easy to use out in the field where you're stuffing about trying to mix your fuels. It's not excessively well made, but it is definitely better than nothing. It doesn't seem to be a seal, so it'll probably leak a bit when you're shaking it up. But no, not bad. What else have we got here? Obviously we've got our accessory pack, some tools, instruction booklet, might as well open this up. Let's see. There you go. You got your just general sort of stuff. Cheap crap, but we will have a look anyway. So it's just, yeah, spark plug, tuning sort of tool, screwdriver, whatever. Smaller screwdriver, very handy, that'd definitely be for tuning. Allen key, very good. And they even chuck in a little file. That's quite nice as far as the tools go. Instruction pamphlet in there too, or manual. Yeah, just your general sort of crap. Hope it's in English. And would you look at that? Not bad at all. So, obviously you've got your, so we can get this power unit, which is obviously your motor or engine, bar protector, guide, bar, saw chain, yeah, all the stuff you'd expect to come with a chainsaw. Anyway, so we're not going to read into this, but for people who actually haven't owned a saw before, this would be quite handy. It seems the instructions are actually in depth to an extent. I didn't see if it had a because obviously you have to assemble the saw to an extent, but I don't see any instructions on how to do that. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you weren't very mechanical savvy, it might be a bit of a pain. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Even has a little instructional on how to cut some wood with a chainsaw. So that's quite handy for those of you who haven't done it before. It's a nice little thing to chuck in. I'm actually a little bit surprised. It even has a little kickback guard sort of instructional, because I know I've seen a few people who haven't used a saw before hit the guard and not know what to do. What else we got? Oiling. Oh, okay. Alright, so we're going to have to chuck a bit of oil into the carburetor before we run it, by the looks of it. Just a little bit. Yeah, it's nothing really too complicated in here. Yeah. And then obviously there's your guide, that's how your chain sits in your guide. Well, not actually quite well written, quite handy to have. So, now the actual power unit itself, or as I like to call it, the engine, which is quite impressive. Oh, that's a big saw. That's nice. Feels plasticky. Now a lot of these saws are copies of, you know, brand name saws, obviously. This being the Chinese one means that I don't know what it's a copy of, but they've just put their own sticker on it, as I said. Sticker's not on there very well, actually. It's not really on there at all. I'd have to stick that back down if I cared, but I don't. Anyway, so just a quick look at this. It looks the part. It's got oil, obviously, bar lube or whatever you want to call it. That's a bit crap, but as I say, what do you expect? Filler here. It's had fuel in it. That's all wet, so it's definitely had fuel in it. It smells like fuel, so they must test run them at least. It's got a pretty impressive O-ring on it, so you hope that wouldn't leak. So there's the main unit itself. Get this out of the way. You can see that it isn't the most expensive chainsaw ever made. Oh, let's have a look in the air filter. This is actually quite a nice, well, what do you call this one? Screwing on. Oh yeah, this is pretty good. What is that? I don't know what you'd call that. It's pretty bulky, but that was actually really easy to use. I've used a lot of other saws, and that's been an absolute pain in the ass to get off. Well, that doesn't get in the way while it's been used. That's quite well made. Well made, quite well designed. Here's obviously your air filter. This is just a cheap sort of mesh net one. Yep, that's cool. We got, zoom in a little bit here. Anyway, vacuum motors, your spark pluggers, as you can see. The choke, which is just in here, you can see that. Again, feels cheap, but kind of very direct in the mechanical sense. I mean, all the edges are all, they're not finished, as I would say. They're not very smooth. All around here, you wouldn't cut yourself on them, but they're not exactly the smoothest edges. You can see sort of just in there, that doesn't line up very nicely. I did notice before while I was looking at it in here, see that little gap there? Just stuff like that. So, and that's, you can't really see that on the camera. It's kind of a clip together sort of job. You'd imagine that would be a bit stronger than that, especially for a handle. But again, very cheap. So what we'll do here is we'll just quickly put that back together. I haven't really watching how I pulled it apart, but I'd be a rocket scientist to do this. Obviously there's your spark plug, but all that would be in the booklet. And looks like in here you're I'm not sure actually. Will that work like? Yeah, it might. Okay, so yeah, your coil lead comes in here, and your spark plug would sit up in the back of that, which I guess is something they took into account. Now, how the hell this goes back together without falling apart is a different question. Let's just go like that. Oh yeah. Yeah, not like this. It looks cheap. It feels cheap, but that is actually quite a good design. I can imagine trying to do that with gloves or something on. That would be a pain in the ass, but having that real big flat point on the end of it makes it quite easy to grab hold of. Anyway, so you got your you want to tune the carburetor. You obviously tune in through here. These are your high and low idles. Well, revs, sorry. Otherwise, it does look the part. Let's have a look at the front of it. Cast alloy, like it's kind of. Let's have a look. You can see that it's not bad. Gasket. Anyway, so let's assemble it. So I'm going to attempt to assemble it with the tools they provide. To see, oh there you go, fits. See if you could do this without buying anything else. Naturally, I wouldn't be relying on most of these because. Oh no, that's right. Oh yeah, you can see that the weld hasn't fused on the back there. So that you wouldn't want to rely on that out in the field, or if you took it like camping or something, or as an emergency saw, you'd probably want to. You probably wouldn't want to use that to really. I can see that twisting off maybe. I can't see that breaking. That'd be quite strong, but yeah. take these two nuts off. Should just self-lock it. So there's the guard or case. Yeah, there's not much to it. So we can have a look here at the clutch and brake sort of assembly. You can't really see it actually. It is in there. And your oil. Can't see that either. Oh, also another thing to note is they've got these plastic screw things, which I'm not familiar with myself. I think it's some sort of anti-vibration thing. I'm not sure. Oh, there's another thing. You can see here where they've tried to drill the hole in the hand what do you call it? Bloody handle thing, or handle. There you go. But they've run the drill bit all the way down it, missing it. So someone should have probably center punched that a bit better. You can see that. Yeah, no. If you want to know this is a fine tooth comb, I'm sure you find a lot of dodginess about it. But obviously, the less time it takes to make something, the cheaper it is in the end. It is. It does have a little bit of weight to it. It's not the heaviest saw I've ever held, but it's definitely not the lightest. So, just chuck that here, and I'll tangle this chain. So after untangling that chain, which was a real pain, as they always are, we'll put it on the bar. Obviously the correct way around, so you want rakers in front of the cutting teeth. And now we're going to get the bumper, or whatever you want to call it, and chuck them there. I've got two hexagon Allen key screws, or bolts, which hopefully are the correct thread, which they seem to be. The holes actually do manage to line up, which is a nice surprise, I guess. Oh, this is all cast, so it would be hard to stuff that up. I mean, every single one of them would have been. So we'll just chuck that in with the Allen key provided. I haven't actually put any Loctite or anything on this, any thread locker, nothing like that on here, so I don't imagine that's going to be an issue, because once you get these pretty tight and cast aluminium, it kind of hugs them and doesn't come loose very easily. So I'll chuck a little bit of tension on that. Obviously being very careful not to thread them, because as I say, cast aluminium, especially cheaper cast aluminium, is not very strong at all. So nice and firm. Now we can put the chain on, well, the bar and the chain on. So what you want to do is get your drive teeth on the sprocket, and then put the bar on like so. Now you can see the tensioner. You can't see the tensioner there. I should have done this the other way around. Put this guard on, which I believe is called a sprocket guard. And there we go. Just chuck one nut on there just to hold it, so I can find the other one, which is right next to it. Like so. Now, we don't want to tension this right up until the chain is tensioned, but we would get a bit of bite on it just to hold the bar on. Now that's on, we want to tension the chain, which is done via this little screw in here. This is going to be fun. It's a lot easier to do with a regular screwdriver that doesn't have the sockets on it. You know what? I'm in the shed, I'm going to use a normal screwdriver. So, is a pain in the ass. Now, make sure. So, seems to be on there correctly. So, if you're tensioning, you're going to be able to lift the chain, not right out, but make it a bit firm, just until the drive teeth come out. So I would say that maybe a little bit tighter on that, because that's quite easy to do. So give it a half a turn more, I'd say. And obviously a new chain will stretch slightly. Everything's got to seat in. Yeah, it feels a bit better. Now, obviously you don't want your chain coming off up here, which that's really good. Alright, I'm happy with that. So what we'll do is tighten these up. So you want to get these pretty tight. Like so. And like so. And there you have it. Alright, so we've filled our petrol up to the fill line here, and now we're just going to put some 2-stroke oil in. So we're just going to go on the gas line, as you can see, sorry, this side. That was really easy to do too. So we're just going to put some 2-stroke oil in here using their own measuring cup. So run a 25:1 on this saw, and we just pour that in until it hits that 25:1 marker, which it's spot on. So I'll take that, get this on tight because I don't want to get covered in it. Give it a little mix. Like so. So it's 600ml. I think the capacity, I can't remember, was around 700. Thereabouts, so. Yeah, and yeah, as I said, I thought it would leak, and it has. Not bad, but that's going to get covered in oil eventually once all the fuel evaporates off it, so that could get quite annoying. So, obviously this goes in the fuel side, not the bar lube side or the chainsaw oil side. And it is a pain in the ass to pour, as you can see. It's gone over. It's because there's a little lip on the end of the opening to this. It's just catching on that and running down the sides of it. If you're planning on cutting a lot of wood and you didn't have any other way of measuring how much oil you wanted to run, you could just use this and fill it into a bigger container. But that, as far as a mixing measuring bottle goes, or container, that useful. As far as pouring it goes, shit house. But it does work. So make sure that's nice and tight. Crush that O-ring down, not too tight though, because it is plastic. I don't want to strip the thread. Now we need to put oil in it, or bar lube. Not that one. So, chainsaw oil. What do you want to call it? Oh, there's a fresh one too. Look at that. It takes a fair bit. Oh, and there we go, fantastic. So there was no warning on that one, it just came straight out. Nonetheless, I'll grab a rag. Guess it's lubing everything up. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to start it without pre-priming it or nothing. So straight out of the box, I haven't even tried to start this yet. I will put a little bit of oil in the carby as it was suggested in the instruction booklet. Actually, that would just be a 2-stroke oil. So let's put a tiny little bit, not much at all. A bit more than that though. And that can go straight in there. So that was next to nothing I put in. Just enough to lube up everything before it fires. Alright, so this will be the first start this store has ever had. I haven't tried to start it yet at all, so we'll see, but we'll start. There's a nice big foot pad for your foot. Obviously you want to hold the handle so you've got at least 2 points of contact. And pull the start, choke out, switch on, see what happens. So we're going to choke in because I can smell fuel now. The easy start does work, but it's still a big sore. So I've got a bit of foot throttle now, and hopefully